Hey guys, welcome to a new series I'm going to be doing here on the channel. It's going to be called Modded Early Game. So the premise of the videos is to go over just some of the early game things. It's stuff that I get asked quite a bit. And so I figured maybe I would do a video series on it to just hopefully help people get started in early game modded. And so where we're going to start for the first episode is obviously power generation. This is early power generation. My definition of early power generation is something that you do not need any other power source to create. And this is probably not all of them. These are the ones that I would prefer, that I would go to, that I have gone to, that I will go to in the future. And so this is, the top 5, my top 5 that I prefer. And it's in no particular order. I just have them laid out. So let's get started. And so here we have the solar panels, level 1 solar panel from Solar Flux. And all of these will depend on the mod pack you're playing, of course. Some will not have, especially those. Some packs don't have this. And then, the configs, obviously. I am currently in the Hermitcraft ModSauce 2 pack, and everything is set to default. Whatever the mod maker sets as the default is where we're at. So these guys will produce 2 RF a tick at full light. They're generally only in full light around the noon time sun. So if they're not at 100% efficiency, they will generate 1 RF a tick, but they are incredibly cheap. So you can see here, we've got 3 mirrors, 5 planks, and 1 redstone. The mirrors are made with 3 glass and 1 iron. And you get 2. So you would need 2 of those, so that's 6 glass, 2 iron to make 1 of these. That's pretty cheap. And that generates 2 RF a tick per solar panel at full light. And you can see I have it set to eternal noon, so they're always getting full power. And I mean, that's a pretty, you just slap it down next to a machine outside, and I mean, that is a drawback. It has to have sun to operate. The next one is from Quantum Flux. Some might say I have a soft spot for Quantum Flux, but either way, so these guys here, they will generate 2 RF a tick no matter what is put in them. They will turn anything into power. Anything. Literally anything. Let's look at the crafting recipe. So you've got 3 iron casing, 4 steel, 1 furnace, and 1 lava bucket. Now I know there's going to be some people looking at the steel going, oh, well, don't we need a blast furnace, or don't we need... No. The steel is 1 iron, 4 coal. Very cheap. Iron casings, 3 iron, 1 lapis, you get 4. And these guys, again, will turn anything into power. And so you finally have a use for all that granite. All that granite can give you power at 2 RF a tick, and this will hold 2,000 RF. And I do believe these guys give 2,000 RF no matter what. So you could drop a diamond block in here, and it'll give you the same power as a piece of dirt, or a feather, or a zombie flesh, or anything. So these you got to be careful with. You don't just go shift clicking all willy-nilly. But it is 2 RF a tick, and anything can produce power. And we already looked at the recipe, so it's very, very cheap. The next one up is the heat generator from Mechanism. Now these guys will produce heat, or will produce energy if they're just surrounded by lava. And you don't need to fully surround it. You could just have 1 source here in between, or just 1 source next to it. It won't produce as much, but it will produce power. Or you can grab something like some planks and slap it in there, and it will produce lava, and then it will produce energy with that lava. So anything that can burn, like wooden tools, wood, coal, charcoal, anything that can burn will produce power in the heat generator, or just having it surround, next to lava. It does have to touch lava. So it can't, you can't have lava here and the generator here and expect it to work unless the lava's flowing. But the source block is the best way to go. The recipe is very simple. Again, all of these recipes are very, very cheap. So we have 3 iron, 1 osmium, 2 planks, 2 copper, and a furnace. And that gets you 1 heat generator. Very nice. Now, this is one that people generally don't look at when they're thinking early game power. But the recipes for the default recipes for big reactors is actually quite cheap. So this is the smallest big reactor you can build. It is a 3x3x3, and it will produce about 250 RF per tick, which is nothing to shake a stick at. It's really not. Look at that. That's pretty decent power for, early game power. And so the recipe, you need some reactor casings. That's graphite, which is cooked coal. You just throw some coal in a furnace and it'll give you graphite. Yellorium, obviously. You get that while mining, and then some iron. Just some more graphite, yellorium, iron. This uses a lot of iron. This is probably the most expensive part. It does require a diamond, but it's still very, very cheap. And that is the reactor controller. And then you're going to need a power tap to take the power out of the thing. And that's just these reactor casings, which we saw there, and redstone. You're going to need reactor access port to put fuel into the reactor. That's 4 casings, a piston, a chest. And you're going to need a reactor control rod, which is the thing that goes above those. The fuel rods. This is a fuel rod controller. And that's, again, graphite, redstone, yellorium. It is very, very cheap. As I said, this guy puts out 250 R for tick, and that is nothing to shake a stick at. You could step up a little bit. This is a 5x5x4. 5x5x4. And this will produce about 2.5k RF a tick. Which, again, that's really good power for early power. But this does have 5 fuel rods. And it's 2 tall. Like the inside is 2 blocks tall. And these are all set to just default everything. And again, 2.7k RF a tick. And this is water cooled. Like, that's water cooled. This is the same setup, but it's got liquid ender pearl. And so for the price of 16 ender pearls, you can get an extra, it's like nearly 1k RF per tick. Just for the price of 16 ender pearls. And you can melt the ender pearls in like a Tinker's smeltery, and there you go, 3.35k RF per tick. Again, not many people look at big reactors as early game power, but it is absolutely early game power. Everything, it's really cheap. It's just when you build the big reactors that it starts to get expensive. And last but not least, we have the lava generators. Magmatic Dynamo, lava generator. This one, I think, in my opinion, is a bit more expensive. This one is 5 gold, 9 iron, 1 furnace, 2 redstone, and that gets you a lava generator. This one produces 40 RF per tick default. This one produces 80 RF per tick default. But this one's a bit more expensive, in my opinion. It requires Invar, which you don't need another machine to make Invar. You can make Invar in a Tinker smeltery, so that's why it's included in the early game power. So you need the redstone transmission coil, which is silver, and 2 redstone. And then you need Invar gear, and so the Invar is 2 iron dust and 1 nickel or ferrous dust. And that will get you an Invar, like an Invar blend. And so this one, again, is a bit more expensive. This is one I usually go for. But this one, I do like that you can augment it later to make it produce more power. And if you're in a pack that has Xenilo, you can produce lava for free. And so these guys will get their lava. You can see 40 RF per tick. This guy's producing slowly going down. It goes down, like the fuller this gets, the lower this goes. So if something is pulling the full amount of power, it will give the full amount of power. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you find this helpful. I wish more people actually looked at big reactors as early game power. I think it's the best one because it's the most infinitely expandable, pretty much. Because you could just keep building upon it as you get more and more resources. But if you did find this video helpful, please leave a like and, a comment if you so choose. If you didn't feel the video was helpful in any way, then, don't leave a like. So, yeah. All right. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you all next time.